Hello, YouTubers. This video is specifically for YouTube. I decided to update my channel. It's been about a month since I made a last video. For the whole month of like February going into this month, I had wisdom tooth pain, and I never had wisdom tooth pain ever before. So I dealt with wisdom tooth pain. So because of that, I had to do some adulting. I had to get my grown person on and start making appointments and figuring this out, figuring that out. So tomorrow I'm going to have my wisdom teeth all removed. So I figured I'd do a quick YouTube video and have this posted up so that I could feel accomplished in some kind of way and not necessarily like a slacker. I don't even really know exactly what I'm gonna say, but I prefer to do these type of YouTube videos in one cut with no edits or anything, just to make them seem a little bit more genuine and more authentic. You know, because my whole point in making these videos is to give a more detailed look at me without giving away all my business, I guess, you know, telling all my business, but I want people to kind of have an idea of who I am in some kind of way, because the stereotypes are so easy to rely on. It's so easy to rely on the stereotypes. It's so really easy to rely on a trope of a type of person when you don't have all the information to fill in the blanks. A lot of times, especially when it comes down to communication, because guys aren't as good as communicating as women might be, I have to tell guys that, like, if you don't communicate, then you leaving all this room for people to just assume whatever they want to assume and think whatever they want to think, you know, when you actually have the opportunity to shape that narrative and actually tell people what you think and who you are. So I did my last video, which was like an intro, because I wanted to remind y'all who I was and why I'm doing what I do. Excuse my dirty t-shirt. Again, this is so you kind of know who I am. This is my outfit around the house. You know, it's not, I don't even have on lipstick. So it's like, hey, take it in, man. Like, let it be what it is, as opposed to thinking about it being something else. It's like, let it be what it is. So the first video was more of like an intro, like, this is who I am, and reminding everybody of who I am, and letting people know I'm coming back and what I'm coming back with. This video right here is just a setup for my Get to Know Me series, where I like my life stories, because I'm gonna start telling these life stories. And I got journals, you know, I should have pulled them out of my closet and had them here as like visual aids, so people know that I got journals to show, and I will read from them. I will probably cry and look a blubbering mess, but you know, I want people to hear these things. You know, this stuff got to be documented, because I ain't gonna be here forever, but this media will, and people in the future will be able to come and look at this stuff and not necessarily let it be about me, but they'll be able to take things from it and let it, and it apply to their lives, and kind of, not, I hate to say empower because it sounds so cliche, but certain stuff you see, you know, it resonates with you, and it takes a hold of you, and it makes you feel, and it reminds you of who you are, and maybe it'll encourage you to, you know, pursue more of your own interests and your own personal wants and likes, despite what you think might be possible, despite what you see is possible. So again, like I said, I'm Gabrielle Love. I don't know if I'm ready to even tell people what my real name is, but that's the name that I chose for myself to be on the internet. A long time ago, I decided that I wanted to come up with an online persona, because I wanted to be online, and you know, you kind of deflect the judgment when you have another persona for them to judge and put their opinions on. Because I was new to the internet, and the internet wasn't new, but I was new to posting, and I knew that it would come with that, with the judgment, with the stigma, you know, even from the guys that claim to be trans-attracted. Because a lot of guys that claim to be trans-attracted are closeted and trans-attracted, which is not beneficial to any trans people unless they're getting paid, because there ain't no love in being closeted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like being a white person being an ally to a black person, but not ever speaking out on behalf of anything that has anything to do with black people. You're not really an ally. You just probably like to have sex with black people, and so you want to tell them that you're an ally, so they'll trust and like and be warm to you, and you can get what you want out of them. That's a manipulation tactic, and I don't have a reason to manipulate anybody, so I kind of feel the need to not let people get away with that. I call it out, let it be what it is. Me personally, I've chosen to be a sex worker a long time ago because I like to have sex. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? So I can have sex with who I want to and for the reasons that I want to, and not even worry about what people think about why I'm doing what I do. Because at the end of the day, and I'm promise I won't say that anymore because I hate that phrase, but ultimately it don't matter what anybody thinks about why I have sex with who I have sex with. It's just something this is a what I call like dinner conversation. It's like water cooler conversation. It's just something to talk about, just to be interesting and, you know, have a laugh and a kiki, but it don't have nothing. It's not going to change those views. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't weigh heavily on my life, and it doesn't even matter to the person that's doing the talking. They don't care. They just talking just to be talking. People do that all the time. So with my life stories, I guess I'll set it up. I'm from North Carolina originally. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina, from the Piedmont Triad area, which is the center of North Carolina. And see, that's why I need to edit these videos, because then I can put all the cool ass little graphics and maps and things that have to do with what I'm talking about in there. And I will do that, but I got home, like I said, I'm having oral surgery tomorrow, so I'm kind of having a cocktail and doing these videos. And yeah, basically I was just lazy. I was like, I want to do the video, but I don't feel like doing all the editing. So like, I'll talk to the people, but the editing will come later. I promise. I promise. But yeah, I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I was an only child, born to a single parent mom. My dad passed away when I was 3 years old. I was born in October. He passed away in January. So it's not like I didn't come from a loving family. My dad had a heart attack at an early age because I have heart issues in my family. So that's part of my story. You know, a lot of people have brothers and sisters, you know, and whatever. But yeah, from North Carolina, from Greensboro, so I'm from the South, and I live in Washington, D.C., where I've been living for the past 10 plus years. I moved here on my own, by myself, to start my own life, you know, and you know, get it cracking for myself. I get these drives where I used to always hear Oprah talk about hearing the whispers in your life, and I would hear, you know, these voices, these whispers that would kind of tell me where to take my life and what to do with myself and where to go. And for a lot of years, I ignored those whispers. I swear I did. And unfortunately, I ignored those whispers, and I didn't necessarily heed and do, you know, what I knew I was being called to do. And then once I finally did, it took me even a while to get my footing. I'm one of those type of people that I'm ultimately trusting. I'm a good person. I've never tried to... everybody lies, but I'm not a liar. My goal isn't to lie, because I see so much beauty in telling people the truth, like telling people what's up. And even if I was gonna lie, I would say I was lying. The same way I tell people that Gabrielle Love is not my real name. I made that shit up for the internet. But I can tell people that because it doesn't matter. I want people to know that they don't know my real name. I want people to know that I'm guarded and that I keep parts of myself hidden. I want people to know that I'm not one of these people that's obsessed with social media fame or internet popularity. I make these videos for YouTube for free. I don't get paid like a lot of other YouTubers. I'm just making them because I want people to know who I am. I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for these small, like a really small percentage of people who let me know that it'll be beneficial, it'll be informative, it'll be entertaining, or whatever the case. Some people are interested, and I do it for that reason and no other reason. But yeah, so my dad passed away at an early age, and I dealt with that in ways that might not be common. I dealt with that in ways where I didn't necessarily think about it. I didn't give it a lot of thought. I didn't think about having a parent or whether it mattered or not. I think maybe my mom filled in the blanks and stepped in that place where she could be, you know, not necessarily mom and dad, but she could like make sure I knew that I wasn't missing anything, or I could feel like I wasn't missing anything. You gotta excuse me, I'm dabbing my sweat because I got 1,000,001 lights shining brightly on me, and my natural afro is heating up my neck. So yeah, from North Carolina, single parent mom. Dad passed away young. My mom passed away in 2002, and so I was young when she passed away. So right after that, I moved to DC. because I didn't really feel what I call tethered. I didn't feel tethered, not to North Carolina, and I didn't feel even really tethered to the world. I felt like I could kind of do whatever I wanted to do because I didn't have anybody to please, or to, not saying I didn't have anybody to live for, because I always would live for myself, but I just didn't have anybody to hold myself back for, to stop doing what I wanted to do out of fear of what they would have to face because of the choices that I made. So I'm more of a selfless person like that, and I still carry that on into my life now. I actually, just recently have decided to, just to focus more on what I want to do, and what I like, and what moves me, and what matters to me, and what relationships enrich my life and make me feel better. That's why a lot of times on Tumblr, I do talk out against down low men. I might be a sex worker, but at the end of the day, that's not my life's blood. I don't really care if I'm not encouraging them to be down low so they can pay me. They pay me because they down low. Because that's not my friend. Those aren't my friends or boyfriends. Because I have a life of people who openly embrace trans people, and those are the people that I incorporate in my circle. As far as like people who are closeted, I use them for what they are for. Money. There's nothing real there. I let them lie to their friends and family. I'm not gonna be a part of that. That's almost like you meet a person and they tell you, oh yeah, I steal and it's cool. I just don't tell people, but I tell you because you cool, and I don't. Almost like they don't think that it matters if they told you, because you're not a part of society anyway. So I could tell you these things and not be judged. No. Your character will be judged. Why? Because I ain't out here doing the same lying. And so somebody told you that transsexuals were less than or whatever, and you took that to heart. And I don't mean I take it to heart. And that don't mean I'm going to let you get away with telling me you want to sleep with me, and at the same time telling me that I'm a disenfranchised person who doesn't have the rights to the same things that you do. Because, like I was saying about allies, that's that line. You ain't an ally. You're not on my side. You're trying to use me. So you're not going to use me. My famous phrase is fair exchange, no robbery. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to get what I want to get out of it. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think about that. Because I have to be happy with myself. And again, for so many years, I would do what people wanted me to do, what people thought was proper, or what people thought was right or acceptable, thinking that if I did what they liked or wanted me to do, that it would do something for me, that they would in turn do something for me or be somebody to me. And they don't. They just take what you give and they go away. So you gotta do what moves you and what matters to you and what you like. I feel like what I do doesn't take away from anybody else. I'm not harming anybody. I'm not lying. I'm not stealing. I deal with people on the level that they're at. I meet plenty of guys that are openly bisexual, and I deal with them in that way. But I feel it's a disservice to the ones who actually came out the closet and told their friends and family that they're attracted to trans women. And yes, I do feel like there is a line. Not all men that like trans women are straight. No, they're not, because people are not a monolith. There are a lot of men out here that claim to like trans women, but really they like dick. And they feel like if you live your life as a woman, that means something about them. That's almost like a dude who doesn't go get checked for STDs, but he gets a girl pregnant, and because she don't have an STD, it's like, oh, I don't either. No. Guys have a personal responsibility to themselves to do things for themselves. What I do for me ain't got nothing to do with a guy I had sex with. Nothing. Because when he goes away, I'm still going to be me. And he's still going to be him. And typically they go back to living a lie. And I'm still living my truth. Regardless of who I'm having sex with or where I'm at. But for them, they're only themselves when they're having sex with somebody who knows the real them. The women that they're sleeping with and lying to, who think they're heterosexual men, aren't the ones who know them. So that's what I'm saying. Some people might not agree with me on that level. But again, some guys that like trans women might identify as straight, and they might be. But again, a lot of them are just fetishizing penises. They just like penis. And they won't admit that. Who admits to being to anything that might be negative? People don't admit to being racist. People don't admit and come flat out and say, I'm homophobic. They'll say, that's my opinion. But again, ultimately underneath the covers, we know what's what. You don't have to have somebody come flat out and tell you, I am whatever, for you to know that they are. You hope that they would come out and tell you that they were those things so that you wouldn't have to fill in those blanks on your own. But once you get grown and you have a certain level of life experience, I hope you know what's what. And you don't need it to be spelled out for you plainly before you know that that's what it is. Because if that's the case, you'll be kind of left on the outs. Like, you'll be waiting on people to be honest with you forever, because that's just not the nature of people. Once people know that they can get away with a lie, we live in a time right now of alternative facts. Once people know that they can get away with telling you something and you'll believe it, they'll just continue to do that, because it's easier than telling you the truth and dealing and being accountable for their truth. Because truth is weight. And I know that firsthand, because that weight is so heavy on me just living in my truth every day. But I don't know anything else other than that. It's because I grew up in a family. I've been trans all my life. There was never a time that I wasn't trans. Even if I didn't know what trans was, I was still explaining to my family who I was inside, how I felt, how I wanted to dress, how I identify, what I want to look like. You know, those are things that I took responsibility for, because I didn't know that there was anything wrong with that, and my family never shunned me or shamed me or made me feel like it was anything wrong with that. That's why when I got out into the world, it was kind of like a harsh reality. It was like, you know, oh my goodness, these other people's families didn't teach them the same things mine, the same kind of love and acceptance that mine taught me. So I had to learn how to accept that, and you know that everybody didn't come from where I came from, or and deal with what I dealt with, and you know, you deal with people where they are, not where you want them to be or how you want them to be, but how they are. You can hope to shape or mold or maybe influence and change, but that's not necessarily guaranteed. So I'm starting off just, you know, giving that whole, this is where I'm from, this is where you know, this is the basis of my character. And when I come back with these next series of videos, probably my next video just to be like a makeup video, something that I actually like, something that's fun. But the next video I'm coming with, I'm gonna start around the time I was, you know, pre-teen, because I have journals from the time that I was like 12 years old, and I'll read those. You'll see how I was sad and how I was depressed, and that was only because, you know, you're dealing with these issues as a young person, and there's nobody to tell you what's up with, you know, with how you feel. There was no internet. There were no other trans people for me to really talk to in North Carolina to tell me what was going on and you know, what was up. I would go to gay clubs and gay guys would be like, you're a pretty drag queen. And I would tell them quickly that I am not a drag queen. Why? Because RuPaul was on TV, and I watched RuPaul, but I knew I wasn't RuPaul. I love RuPaul, but I knew RuPaul was a man that dressed in drag. He said it all the time. And how I look is how I look all the time. And like, even how I look now, I'm trans, but I have no plastic surgery. My face is my face. My body is my body. I don't knock anybody who's done any enhancements, but I'm just saying that to say that this is just who I am. Like, what I look like is what I look like. What I sound like is what I sound like. I'm not trying to talk in some little soft baby voice that's like put on to make you feel like, oh, she's more feminine. It's not about that. This is what it is, and you don't have to like it. I love it. So that's the basis of where I come from, you know, and the basis of my character. It just starts with this loving foundation from my family in North Carolina, that built my confidence in such a way that it just, I don't think it's really ever been torn down by any one person in particular. I can say the first time I came to YouTube back in like 2009, a lot of the download dudes who expected me to get online and be this transvestite that wanted to have sex with closeted men and jiggle my titties and talk in a baby voice and make them feel sexual or attracted, and they, like, you know, they let me have it, and they gave me a hard way to go because it was different. But I shied away, but it took me a while, and I saw some other people on YouTube. It made me feel like I could come back and make these videos for myself and for other people and kind of ignore all these closeted men and what the fuck they think, because what you think don't really fucking matter. I don't care what no closeted guy think unless he fucking paying me. And if he ain't paying, then I don't give a fuck. You don't even exist. Go talk to your wife about what you think about transsexuals. You won't, because they don't know. You can talk to your mama about the dicks you sucked or the transsexuals you like. You won't. So don't talk to me about me being trans, what the fuck I think about my life as being trans, or my group of trans people, what I see. I don't care what they think. This is for a whole nother group of people. So with that being said, this is my update video, so I won't be a fucking slacker and you guys don't have to wait like 9 years for me to make another video to come back on YouTube. But I'm having this dental surgery tomorrow morning, so I probably won't make another video this weekend, but I will be back. I'm coming back.